Well, good morning, everybody, and happy Monday morning. This is another day that the Lord has blessed us to see. I am so glad to connect with you on this morning. I am glad to be alive. I realize that I could have been dead, sleeping in my grave, but the Lord blessed me. He touched my body and let me see a brand new day. And for this, I'm thankful. For this, I am grateful. Happy Monday morning to each of you. And I am excited about today because we have completed a whole week of fasting, an entire week of fasting. We have completed it. And I am just excited. I'm excited that we are over 1/3 of the way. In a few days, we'll be over half of the way. Isn't that awesome? God has blessed us. He has kept us. He has given us the strength. And I have received that strength. I have received that strength. I have felt the strength of God, and I am grateful. We are going into day number 9. Day number 9. Those of you who started at 6 a.m. when we began, we ended day 7 yesterday and started day 8. This morning ends day 8. Okay? This morning concludes day number 8. And those of us who started at 6 a.m., we're going into day 9. Those who started at 6 p.m., then of course, your day 9 will start at 6 p.m. We'll start at 6 p.m. So now, day number 9, we are looking at wisdom. Wisdom, day number 9, we're going to be looking at James chapter 1, verse 5. God gives wisdom generously to those who ask. You can actually read that entire chapter. It's quite interesting. The whole chapter of the epistle of James. It is quite interesting. And you can read that entire chapter. It will bless your life. Yes, it will. Amen. Well, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? Tell me, do you feel all right? Are you still running on? Do you feel like running on? I received some real encouraging reports yesterday. I had 2 members to come up to me and one told me that she has not had to take her high blood pressure medicine because of this fast. She said, my blood pressure is good and I've not taken the medicine. I've not taken the medicine. Now, isn't that something? And I would encourage anybody who has problem with high blood pressure. I would assume you have a machine at home, just as I do, although I don't take blood pressure medicine because I try to stay on top of it myself, watch it. There have been a few times when I've gotten off and then called my doctor and say, well, give me something light or something with low milligrams, but maybe take it a couple of days and then get off of it because I get back on doing, when you do, your eating has a lot to do with your health. Steve Jobs said that you ought to eat your food as medicine. You should eat your food as medicine. And he said this is one of the regrets of his life, that he did not eat his food as medicine because now he has to eat his medicine as food. Wow. Is that powerful? Is that thought-provoking? He said because he did not eat his food as medicine, he's now having to eat his medicine as food. In other words, he said, before he died, I'm taking so many pills until it's like food, you know. And I want to tell you, that's important. It can, and then I had another member tell me that her blood pressure was much better on this. That two members yesterday, as I was fellowshipping, told me that. Now, I've heard this before. I've heard of people who are diabetic and they started this fast, because this fast, you don't do sugars. You don't do a lot of sugars. And of course, there is sugar in fruit, but I'm talking about this raw processed sugar. And I see some already saying, same here, my blood pressure. Lou Washington says that my blood pressure has been remarkably great as well. I will continue this fast eternally. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? All right. So I've gained some good reports from people, and that's encouraging. That's encouraging. But I've heard of people who are diabetic, when they do the Daniel's fast, stop all of those cakes and ice creams and everything that is processed, they process it with sugar. Amen. That's why you feel so irritated when you're no longer eating this stuff, because one scientific study tells us that sugar has the same effect on some people as cocaine. They did a study in mice. They did a study with mice, and they gave some mice cocaine, they gave some sugar, and they noticed the same reaction when they removed it. They had withdrawals, the same irritation. When you don't eat sugar, I don't need to be teaching all of this morning. I need to get to my lesson, but it is the truth. That's right, Cynthia. It feeds your parasites. It feeds your parasites. And so this is good. This is good, guys. And we could have better health. I know it's good to us. I know it's good. I see my mom saying that her blood pressure is excellent. That's good, Mom, because I want you to live. I want you to live a long time, long time. I want my mama around here. I want y'all around here too. But I really want my mama to stay around here. I see my daughter-in-law say, I'm feeling great. I have natural energy. That's good. That's good. I'm so glad to see that. All right. So we're beginning day number 9. And I want to get into this lesson. But before I get into this lesson, I want to wish our student pastor, Pastor Charles Phillip, a happy 37th birthday. Would you help me wish him? He's a fine young man, and he's celebrating a birthday. He's on our staff at Grace. Will you help me celebrate his birthday on today? He's a fine family man, has a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful sons, and he's doing a good job. So happy birthday, Pastor Charles. All right. He's only 37, guys. I remember when I was 37. Wow. Charles, I'm old enough to be your daddy, boy. I treat his sons like they my grandchildren, you know. So we're so proud, though, of what the Lord is doing in his life. I want to talk this morning for the next few minutes about surrounding yourself with the right people. Surrounding yourself with the right people. You know, you ought to have a network of people who can help to build you and not break you, who can bless you and not burden you. You ought to have a network. I love the people that I've surrounded myself with. I thank God for the people that I surround. I'm very careful to watch who I surround myself with. I can't be friends with everybody. I can't be, and when I say friends, I'm talking about close. You can't know the intimate details of my life, because I understand it is so important that I surround myself, and you surround yourself with the right people. I like being around people who are talking things that build my life, that help me to be a better person. Listen, I can do bad by myself. I need people who will help me. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I need people who will help me be a better person. A better person. I need that in my life. So let me ask you, who is influencing you? Who's influencing you? You will never live above the level of your influence. That's good, and that ain't even in my notes. You will never live above the level of your influence. I spoke a little bit about this the other day. I alluded to this the other day when I talked about your environment, because I'm big on environment. I'm big on connecting with people, having people in my life who can build me, who can encourage me. And if you're married or contemplating marriage, that need to be a requirement for the person you connect with, because that's the most influential person in your life. Your wife, your husband, your parents, and your friends. Your friends. Your friends more so sometimes even than your siblings. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Your friends even more so than your siblings. You can't choose your family. You can't choose your siblings, but you can choose your friends. You can choose your friends. And I say this in jest, but there is an atom of truth mingled in this statement. And I'm going to say it. I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's the truth. There's an atom of truth here. I always tell people, God gives us friends to apologize for our family. God gives you friends to apologize for your family. Now, somebody gonna get mad with me, but that's all right. But that is the truth, because you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. Hopefully, your family operates in a way that will build you. I'm thankful for parents who had a positive influence in my life. I'm thankful for siblings. I'm thankful for siblings who had a positive influence in my life, but that's not always the case. And so God gives you friends so that to apologize for your family. I believe that. All right. So who's influencing your life, guys? Who's influencing your life? I've spoken on this. I've spoken about this on several occasions about this is how you position yourself for success. If you want to be financially successful, hey, pick a circle of friends who got their finances together, who ain't broke, uh, who ain't in debt and behind, who who believes in paying their bills on time. I know people who simply just don't believe in paying their bills on time. Well, I get it in when I can. No, I don't want to be connected with you. I don't need you influencing me, because that's that affects your credit. It affects your credit, and your credit is a reflection of your character. And when your credit is messed up, then it affects you in so many ways. So I want to be around people who are talking, positive. They don't have to be rich, or they don't have to be some financial guru, but at least they understand the importance of keeping a good reputation, making money, saving money, investing money, doing well with your finances. That's if you want to be blessed. If you want to be a man, listen, if a man wants to be a man of character, one who is a good father, who's faithful to his wife, who is doing those things that he needs to do, he has to surround himself with other men who are doing the same thing. If you surround yourself with men, brothers, who are doing any and everything, they don't care about fidelity or don't care about this, that, and the other, it is because they don't care. Then if that's your buddy, you will end up doing some things that you should not do. So you have to be careful. I know what I'm talking about. I know that in life, the things that I've done that I should not have done, if I look at the people that I've surrounded myself with, that has and sometimes you don't know it has an effect on you. I'm preaching now. Am I preaching? Am I preaching? Sometimes you don't know it has an effect on you, but it will. If you have a problem with alcohol, if you may not even drink, but if you hang around people who do. So surrounding yourself. So if it works in the negative, it can work in the positive. If you want to be a better and stronger Christian, connect with people who have Christian attitudes and a Christian disposition. You need people who can accommodate where you're trying to go, or you will never get there. Some of our biggest problem, again, is the people we've hooked up with. They strangle our growth and potential. This does not make them bad people per se. That does not mean that they are bad people, but it does make them people that may not be conducive to your growth and your success. See where you're trying to go and connect. I thank God for our church. Our church, man, do y'all know our church is really growing? Do you know Grace? My God, Grace is really growing. Wow. Do you know that? My God, I looked at yesterday. I said, my people are coming to church. Both services. People are coming to church. Somebody give God praise for that in the comment section. Come on. Somebody give God praise for that in the comments. If we keep going like we're going, don't get scared. We may have to go to a third service, No, I'm going to build a balcony. I'm going to have to build a balcony one day because I don't want to do no 3 services. But that's all right. Y'all keep coming. Yes. And there are a lot of people in Grace. You look at our men's ministry, on our men's fellowship, and this is not all in our men's ministry, but we had 105 to come out on a Saturday for our men's fellowship. And a lot of these men are very positive guys. They are, listen, we have people in that men's group, you'd be surprised at some of the accomplishments that they've made and the positions that they have in their careers. You'd be surprised at some of the levels of influence in our men's gathering. Well, why don't you connect, brother, if you want to get somewhere? Because when we meet, we're talking about things that's going to build you up. Our leaders, Dr. Easley and Brother Bullock, and that steering team that they have, I'm telling you, these guys are putting out some good stuff. And if you are a brother, if you are a man, I wish I had said this yesterday to all of the men. We had a lot of men in church on yesterday in both services. And then I see we're drawing a lot of young adults. Man, I see that. And I want our church, now I'm not totally off subject, but I want you, if you're a part of our church, I want you to connect with some of those new people and some of those young adults and let them know how glad, kind of as I do in the foyer. Sister McFarland is out there, I'm out there, and we're fellowshipping. You need to be a part of that. You need, as they're coming out the door, make sure these people, listen, when a person comes to church, listen to me, Grace, listen to me, children of God. When a person comes to church, they need to be touched at least 7 times. 7 times. Any pastor listening to me, listen to me. Train your members to touch them. They need to be touched at least 7 times. So what am I talking about? And when I say touched, I'm talking about spoken to or smiled at or connected or hugged or shake their hand or embrace them. They come on the park and I want my parking ministry. Make sure, how you doing? So good to see you today. They get to the greeters. Welcome to Grace. So glad to have you in Grace. Get to the ushers. Don't just lead them to church. Grab their hand, shake their hand. Listen, so glad to see you. Let me help you get a seat on this morning. Then they get to their seat. The person sitting next to them. Am I teaching? The person sitting next to them. Hello, how you doing? So glad to have you sitting beside me. Come on through. Welcome to Grace. Then at fellowship time, somebody that they don't even know, hugging them. And then during other times, that offering time, when they're bringing their offering and somebody is saying, oh, let me move out of the way. And then when we end church, thank you for coming. So glad to sit beside you. I look forward to seeing you on next Sunday. And then when they're on the way out, the usher's still at the door. Thank you for coming, such and such and such. Then they get to the, so y'all see what I'm talking about? It's influence. It's influence. You ought to come to church with an assignment. Because in the world, now I've gotten a little bit off subject, but this is good. Because in the world, guess what they're getting? Hatred, bitterness. We got to hear about folk being shot and racism. At work, they're getting haters. They're dealing with prejudiced people. They're dealing with haters. They're dealing with people who are mad because they got the position. They're dealing with messy folk. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit Sunday in my during my monologues. I ain't talking about my sermon. I'm talking about my monologues. They need to be touched. They need to be loved. They need to know that you are glad to see them. And be intentional, church. Be intentional. Don't have an attitude. That's why I told the greeters the other week, everybody ain't meant to be a greeter. Because some of y'all, you have a few folk in church with an attitude. If I know you got an attitude, I'm going to take y'all. That's just the bottom line. Because I understand. If they sung a song and they did a good job, let them know. Man, like them men sung yesterday. My God, them brothers sung like the choir sung the other day, and the young ladies were singing. Let them know, man, that was good. The other choir members, wow, that was good. That's how you reach people. It's about influence. They need to be in an environment that builds them up. Church is a fellowship. Church is not a place where you just come and everybody condemn you. Well, you got on a dress that ain't right. Well, shut up. You got on a hat in church. That ain't right. You got on this, that dress too short, this too short. You shouldn't do that. Look, you can't clean a fish until you catch him. Love on them. You'll see a change in their life. You used to be there. I used to be there. I'm just glad you came to church. I don't care, some things may be a little inappropriate. I don't know. But I'm just glad you came to church. I'm just glad you came, and let me love on you. All right. So you need to be. Now, I got into all of that because I was talking about the men's gathering on Saturday, our breakfast, and how a brother, listen, any young brother that's listening to me right now, if you want to go somewhere in your life, connect with those men, listen to Brother Easley, listen to Brother Bullock teach, listen to that steering committee, Brother Sankey and that crew, and how they are serious about life, serious about Christianity, and about love, and about success. And watch how your life will start changing. All right. So you got to watch your influence. Let me give you a scripture, because I've been because I remember, let me tell you how my ministry really shifted. And I have to attribute one guy who created a spark. I'm not talking about preaching. My father influenced my preaching because he was such a good preacher. He influenced my preaching. So I wanted to be a good preacher. I did. I just wanted to be a good preacher. Don't ever know if I made it there or not, but I believe I do pretty good, because I get a lot of calls to come. I don't think they would call me to come and preach at their churches if they didn't think. And I've been doing it for 35 years. This coming Sunday will be 35 years of pastoring. July 29th of last year was 35 years of preaching. My father influenced my preaching. That's a guy who used to pastor in Meridian, Mississippi, Billy Russell, who he and I became great friends. We don't talk now like we used to. He's in Minneapolis, and of course I'm here. But he was serious about ministry. A lot of the things you see happening at Grace, he created that spark in me because I watched his sincerity about ministry at the Mount Olive Church in Meridian, Mississippi. He built a building there that at that time, no Black church knew anything about a building like that. They knew anything about a Family Life Center and ministries, the various ministries that he had going on. He created a spark in me. Now, I'll be honest with you, he came to town. Listen, I'm teaching. I'm just giving you an example. He came to town And he was doing some things that were different from what all of us were doing as pastors. And he received a great deal of criticism from mostly pastors. I have to admit, from mostly pastors. I remember guys would meet at McDonald's. Some of the old preachers would meet at McDonald's for breakfast during the morning, and he would be the subject of their conversation. And there were some guys who were hating on him, especially when he built that church and he was doing it. I mean, they said, oh, he turning that Baptist church into a holiness church, a Pentecostal church, and that's why they filling up, because he letting everything go on. No, he was doing ministry, and he was doing it where it was in a non-judgmental way. He wasn't in the pulpit talking about everything wrong and what some pastor's wife wore. He wasn't downing everybody. Are y'all hearing me? See, people sick of that mess. Folk are tired of that. They tired of you're just judging everything. Preach the gospel. Let the gospel work. And he was doing things, and whereas a lot of pastors were hating on him, guess what I did? I liked what he was doing. I liked where the Lord was taking him. Now, I had a small country church in the rural, in Pachuta, Mississippi. And guess what I did? I hooked up with him. He became my friend. And I was living in Meridian. We hooked up before I bought a house in Meridian, but after I bought a house, that really influenced me to buy a house. My church was about, I'm just rambling. Give me a few more minutes to ramble. My church, and this gives you a little background of why I'm like I am. My church was probably 30 minutes from Meridian, Mississippi, and I was living in close to the church, but I wanted to buy a house. So I bought a house in Meridian because he and I had become friends, part of the reason. And then after I bought that house in Meridian, he and I would go to the track, exercise, talk. Then we'd go to breakfast, talk. And then he'd go to his church. And sometimes I'd go down to mine, or we would talk, and I would listen at him. Then we started going to the convention together, and we would talk, and he'd talk about ministry, and he lit a spark. He lit a spark in me, in a young pastor from Pachuta, Mississippi. And most of the pastors I knew were good men. We didn't have many women pastors. We had no women pastors in the Baptist church at that time. And so most of the pastors I knew, they were good men. They really were. They were good, godly men. However, they did not do ministry in a way that Billy Russell was doing it. They preached, they loved the people, they visited the sick. But this guy was starting programs. This guy was starting men's gathering. This guy was starting ministries that were impacting people past Sunday morning. I knew nothing about no new members orientation. We just take you in the church and give you the right hand of fellowship, and now you join a ministry. He's the one told me about new members orientation. So it created a spark. I'm closing. It created a spark. I learned something, guys. If somebody is where you want to be and doing what you want to do, don't hate on them. Don't dog them. Connect with them and see what it is they're doing, and allow it to rub off on you. And if somebody is doing, even in your career, if you're in the music business, if you're in the investment business, if you are in the medical field, whatever field you're in, education, you're an engineer, Find people who can enhance your life, enhance what you do. If you are a preacher, get you a circle of preachers who are serious about preaching, not some guys that's just out here trying to do any and everything. If you want to be a better pastor, get your circle of influence. If you want to be a better husband, get with men who are loving their wives, who are building up their wives. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And stay away from people who are not conducive to your growth. 1 Corinthians 15:33. I'll say this and I'm done. New Living Translation, 1 Corinthians 15:33. Don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character. Let me say to my young people, and I'm closing. Parents, I'm going to tell y'all something one of these days that I'm going to do. It's going to bless your children. It's going to bless your children. Some of them may be grown before I do it, but I'm going to tell you anyhow, one of these days. Young people, if you want to be serious about your education, connect with people who don't connect with folk who think that it's something wrong with being smart. I was in school and unfortunately I connected with some people. I connected with some guys who thought it was cool to be ignorant. In the beginning, I'm serious. And I was smart, but I didn't assert myself. I didn't make good grades in school. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't make good grades. I didn't. And it was not because I was dumb or ignorant. It was some cool fellas that I wanted to be in that group. It is unfortunate that we sometimes gravitate to that negative crowd. Young people in particular. I want to teach young people better. There's nothing wrong with connecting with folk who are serious about their grades, serious about their education. I was a smart young man. I was intelligent. Well, not really intelligent, but I'm talking about I had everything needed. I was smart enough to do whatever I needed to do in school. But I connected with guys. So I'm just trying to give you these illustrations. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be with the guys that, we like the girls, we're tough. I think it was a form of rebellion against my father and my mother because, they wanted me to walk in the right way. And sometimes, I got sick of being a preacher's kid and walking, expected to be this, be that. And so I wanted to be around the guys, that sort of a rebellion. And your children will do it too. I'm telling you, so you'll know this. Some of them will rebel too. I've said enough. This is day 9. We're starting day 9. And I try my best. I'm trying to encourage you guys. I love you. I'm trying to encourage you. I love you. And I thank God that I changed, though. I changed that. When I started doing drugs as a young man, it was because I was around guys who, and what I'm talking about, I was smoking marijuana and drinking every day, all day. And I was around guys. That's what we did. I didn't do that until I got in that group. I got in that group. My first drink was the most terrible thing in the world. I can't believe what do folk like about this? But I was around some guys. So get in good company and watch how God will change your life. Father, bless your people. Thank you for this word today. We love and praise you. Help us as we continue to consecrate ourselves. This is what this period is about. We want to be better. We want to be stronger. Bless us to do that in Jesus' name. Amen. Few announcements. Bible class tomorrow night. I'll be teaching. Look forward to having you a part of it online. New members orientation will start January 14th. That should be Wednesday, guys. Okay, all of our new members get in it. GAP is having leadership workshop. This is the group between 40, you're either in your 40s or your 50s, from 40 to 59. And then Impact Night next Tuesday. That's when we meet in person. Okay, you got it. God bless you. Have a good day. And I will connect with you in the morning. Bye-bye.